Assalamualaikum. Hello, everyone. Okay, so let's continue our lesson. For this week, okay, we will cover two more chapters, which is chapter 5, okay, and also chapter 6, okay. So for chapter 5, okay, supposedly according to the textbook, okay, it cover for two chapters, okay. So meaning that we will have chapter 5 and also another one is chapter 5.1, okay. Chapter 5, we will have the location decision or location strategy. Another one is 5.1, we have layout decision. Okay, and then for the chapter 6, we will cover on the project management. Okay, so for this recorded video, okay, I will start with chapter 5. Okay, and straight away continue with our chapter 5.1, okay, which is layout decision. Okay, so let me share with you the slide first. Okay, so this is our chapter 5, okay, location decision, okay, location strategy, okay. So as the operation manager, okay, location play very, very important role, okay, in when we are considering, okay, in terms of our business, okay, because it can affect also the performance, okay, the productivity of the staff and also the performance of the organization itself, okay, the business itself. Okay, so we have location decision. So this is the learning outcome, the subtopic that we will cover. Okay, first is we will look why location is very important, okay, toward the business. Okay, and then what are the factors that are affecting the location decision. Okay, so what are the factors that we need to consider when we want to choose the location of the organization of the business. Okay, and then we have the method of the evaluating location alternative. Okay, so what kind of the method that we use, okay, in terms of the calculating, okay, evaluating the location. So we have the break-even analysis, factor rating technique concept, okay, and also center of gravity technique concept, okay. And then beside for the goods, okay, for the product, okay, so for the service also, okay, as the service provider, so they will have a different factors, okay, that need to be considered if let's say you are the service provider, okay. So we have a service location strategy, and also the last one under the location strategy also we have geographic information system. Okay, so let's look, okay, one by one. Okay, so first let's look why location decision is very important, okay, toward the business. Okay, so number one, it will affect the fixed cost and variable cost of the organization. Okay, so meaning that if let's say we choose the wrong location, the wrong what you call that location, okay, so definitely it will affect, okay, they will incur any kind of the costs, okay. So any mistake could be incurred, okay, in higher costs, okay, higher investment, difficult marketing, and also the transportation. Okay, so if let's say you choose the wrong location, okay, so definitely it will incur, okay, for example, transportation costs. Okay, maybe you need to take your raw material, okay, from port, for example, to your business, okay, to your organization. Okay, they will incur the cost. Okay, if let's say your location is very far, okay, it's a rural area or something like that, definitely will incur the cost lah. Okay, so in terms of the difficulties of the marketing also, okay, because the customers, okay, is very hard to reach your location. Okay, and then number two, the second importance has an impact on the overall risk and profit. Okay, because it will affect the efficiency, okay, the effectiveness, productivity, and also the profitability. Okay, so the efficiency of the business itself, okay, the effectiveness, okay, how you want to promote your product and also the services. Okay, productivity of the employees also will be affected. Okay, if let's say you are having a business or organization, okay, that is very far, okay, from the what we call that the residency of your staff, for example, okay, of your employees, definitely it will affect, okay, the productivity for them, okay, and also the profitability lah. Okay, and then the third one, okay, necessary if demand has exceeded the current production capacity. Okay, so meaning that if let's say you want to open a new branch, for example, okay, definitely, okay, you will need a new location. Okay, it's needed due to expand and diversify its activities. Okay, so if let's say we expand our business, okay, so that's why we need to open a new branch, for example. Okay, so that's why we need to find the new location. Okay, so in terms of the new location also, you need to make sure lah. Okay, the new branches, for example, make sure that location, okay, must be a very strategic one. Okay. All right, next we have another importance. Okay. Okay, so the fourth one, changes in labor productivity, exchange rate, cost, and also the community attitude. Okay, because we are measuring, okay, the productivity, the labor productivity based on the hour. Okay, so if the hourly output is decreasing in a particular location, it shows poor labor productivity at that location. Okay, for example, your employees, okay, need to travel, okay, very far. Okay, so that's why and then sometimes need to face the traffic congested jam here and there. Definitely we will decrease the labor productivity of the employees lah. Okay, and then the last one, the importance of the choosing the right location. Okay, so it will shift in the demographic and customer demand. Okay, because a business has to consider shifting to a different location if the said target customers are not available at the selected location. Okay, so for example, okay, if let's say we doing a business, okay, we sell the high end product, for example. Okay, so high end product, definitely, okay, we need to look the location. Okay, so what kind of the population that we have, okay, their demographic, okay, their background. Okay, so if let's say we want to sell the high end product, okay, for example, the branded product lah, so definitely we need to find location that the people around there, okay, so they have the high class people lah. Okay, for example, we have pavilion. Okay, why pavilion located at Bukit Bintang? Okay, because Bukit Bintang, we know that, okay, most of the person, okay, who go for Bukit Bintang, definitely they have their own high class people lah. Okay, so that's why we have all the boutique, okay, the very high brand boutique, okay, located at a pavilion. Okay, because that is their target market. Okay, so if let's say, can you imagine Louis Vuitton, okay, open up the boutique, okay, at the kampung, for example, definitely that is not their target market. Okay, so it's very hard for them to sell that kind of the product. Okay, so demographic and also the customer demand also is play very important also lah, okay, towards the location decision. Okay. All right, so this is the factors that affecting the location decision. Okay, so before we go for the factors, okay, so in making any location decision, an operation managers has to go through a few steps of the decision. Okay, so they include these three steps. Okay, number one, you need to know, okay, whether based on the national decision. Okay, national decision meaning that it will be based from the government rule. Okay, so if let's say the customers ask a business, okay, this kind of business must be open in that certain area. Okay, so definitely they will be based on the national decision. Okay, and then second, okay, they will be under regional or community decision based on the district officer, for example. Okay, district office, for example. Okay, so the DO, okay, ask they need this kind of the business open up in that area. Okay, certain area, certain location. So that will be under regional or community, or maybe the state one. Okay, and also the last one is site decision. Okay, for example, ketua kampung ke or something like that. Okay, so that will be under site decision. Okay, so this is the 6 factors, okay, that need to be considered when you want to choosing, okay, the right location. Okay, making location decision. Okay, number 1, proximity to market or customers. Okay, proximity meaning that the length. Okay, so for how far, okay, your business, okay, can be located. Okay, so first we based on the market and also the customers. Okay, so customers want to buy a product or service which are easily accessible, okay, which is nearby them. Okay, if let's say you stay around Klang Valley, for example, okay, during the weekend, maybe they have a jam or something like that, definitely they will not go for that kind of the what we call it, the business, okay, shop or something like that. That is, we have a very congested people here and there, definitely dia tak akan pergi kat situ lah. Okay, then we go for the nearby. Okay, so that's why they are very we need to consider that will be based on the easy, okay, apa tu, what you call it, easy accessible lah. Okay, customer want to buy at least for the groceries. Okay, definitely if let's say they stay at Shah Alam, definitely they will not go for KL. Okay, definitely they will not go for another state, for example. Definitely they just go nearby. Okay. All right, and then second one is the proximity to the suppliers. Okay, beside the market and also the customers. Okay, the suppliers also, okay, the proximity towards the supplier also play very important. Why? Because okay, it to be near the source of the material of ease during production while reducing their production cost. Okay, why the organization, the business, okay, prefer, okay, to locate their business, okay, nearby the supplier, because it will decrease the cost of the transportation. Okay, if let's say your business, okay, your main supplier, okay, around Port Klang or something like that. Okay, so you choose your location, okay, to start up your business, okay, at nearby of the Port Klang, for example. So you can minimize the cost of the transportation. Okay, so no need to pay for the, cost of transportation is very high. Okay, sebab apa? Because your supply is nearby. Okay. Alright, next, proximity to competitors. Okay, so why proximity to competitors? Okay, because some of you might be question, okay, why we need to be very close to our competitors? Because, okay, the major resources, okay, for example, labor, material, and infrastructure, and also the information are available in that area. Okay, so meaning that if let's say they have a business, a lot of business, the same market with you, okay, so meaning that it's very easy for you, okay, to find in terms of the infrastructure, okay, to find in terms of the material. Why? Because you have the same market there. Okay, so that's why nearby to the competitors. Okay, so easy for you to get the major resources. Okay, and also, okay, it can increase the potential customers. Okay, so potential customers, so if let's say that customers, okay, they are not prefer with the other company, the other organization, okay, the other business, so they will go to you. Okay, so they will try your product. Okay, they will try your service. Okay, so that we consider under the potential customers to you lah. Okay, and then number 4 for the labor supply. Okay, the next factor is labor supply. So choose a location that has high availability of the labor. Okay, especially for the skill labor. Okay, why? Because you want to reduce the cost of hiring and training. Okay, that's why if let's say you see that, okay, we have most of the businesses, okay, their HQ at the city center. Okay, for example, Kuala Lumpur, Shah Alam. Okay, why? Because they have the skill labor. Okay, most of the graduate student, okay, so after the graduate, definitely they love to go for they love to looking for a job, okay, at the city center. Okay, so that's why easy for the organization, for the business, okay, to find the skill labor. Okay, and then beside that also they can reduce the cost of hiring and training. No need to train again lah. Okay. All right, next, number 5, okay, we have availability of the facilities. Okay, so having facilities, for example, access to an internet connection will assist organization to stay connected with the suppliers, customers, and also the government. Okay, that's why if let's say your when choosing a location, okay, to run a business, okay, so you need to look also, you need to consider also the facilities that are provided for you. Okay, for example, the internet connection lah. Okay, because we know nowadays, okay, our business, okay, most of our business nowadays we have the online business. Okay, so our transaction also most of the time nowadays, okay, we are depend on the internet. Okay, so that's why the internet connection must be very good one lah. Okay. All right, and the last one will be the government incentive. Okay, so the last factor is government incentive. Government incentive, for example, we have subsidiaries or tax inducement. Okay, so that will be for the government incentive lah. Okay, so government said that, okay, so I give you incentive. Okay, if let's say you open up in that certain location, certain area, so I will give you the tax inducement. Okay, I give you the subsidiary. Okay, so the the factors, okay, the point that the government offer the incentive because it will attract firm to base their facilities in that area. Okay, for example, if let's say the government, okay, want to open up a new city, for example, okay, a new residency, for example, so definitely they will looking for the, okay, the business, okay, so that can provide the good or services at that area. Okay. All right, so this is the method. Okay, second, let's look at the method of the evaluating location alternative. Okay, so basically, when we talk about the method of evaluating location, it will involve the calculation. Okay, but we are not go through in deep lah with this kind of the calculation lah. Okay, so you just need to know that they have a three method. Okay, first is we have the break-even analysis, we have factor rating technique, and the last one we have center of the gravity technique. Okay. So let's look one by one. First, we have the first method. We have break-even analysis. So what is the break-even analysis? It's a form of analysis that focuses on cost and revenues. Okay, so that will be for break-even. And then there are three components that need to be considered when you focus on cost and revenues. First is the fixed cost. Second is the variable cost per unit. Another one is selling price per unit. Okay, so another one, okay, another type of the break-even analysis, we have total cost analysis. Okay, so this is the formula for break-even analysis. That's why for the break-even analysis, okay, you need to consider the fixed cost, okay, and also the selling price, okay, and also the variable cost per unit. Okay, so this is the formula lah. Fixed cost divide by selling price minus variable cost per unit. Okay, another one we have this, okay, profit. Okay, so how you want to get the profit by total revenue minus the total cost. Okay, all right, so this is the question. If let's say you want to try, you can try also. Okay, you can do also. Okay, but that's why I say I will not go very detailed lah. Okay. All right, so the next one, okay, we have a total cost analysis. Okay, so that's we still in the break even, yeah. Okay, so for total cost analysis, okay, we focus on the total cost to make a location decision. Okay, so there are 5 steps to follow in using the total cost analysis. Okay, first you need to create a total cost equation for every location, and then match location and execution. Okay, third, calculate the quantity and also total cost for every location match. Second, fourth, you need to construct a graph. Okay, so the information needed to plot the graph is quantity, total cost, and also the fixed cost, which is the base formula for the break even lah. Okay, and then number 5, determine the best location based on the quantity range. Okay, so this is the formula on that lah. Okay. After this we go the next one. Okay, so the second method, okay, for evaluating location alternative, we have factor rating technique. Okay, so what is the factor rating technique? Is the location evaluation technique that considers quantitative, which is tangible, and qualitative, which is intangible factors in choosing a location. Okay, so in order to apply the factor rating technique, there are a few steps to follow. So first we need to identify lah, okay, either that will be tangible or intangible. Okay, so tangible factor meaning that we can measure by using the monetary value. Okay, for example, we have the labor, okay, we have the transportation cost, okay, so that will be under tangible factors lah. Okay, so that's why you need to calculate the total cost for each alternative, and then rank the location accordingly. Okay, and the last one is assign a merit or weightage to each alternative location. Okay, so the next one is choose the best location lah. Okay, so another one we have intangible factors. Okay, for intangible factors meaning that we can measure it by using the non-monetary. Okay, for example, we have labor availability. Okay, labor we can measure. Okay, so how many labors that we want? Okay, for example, we approximate around 10. Okay, so 10 we can calculate lah, so that's why they become the tangible. Okay, but if let's say that 10 is available, we never know, so that's why it considered under intangible factors. Okay, so this is the way how, okay, you want to use the intangible factors. Okay, so first you need to analyze the intangible factors. Second, you need to convert the rank into weight. Okay, third, check rating given for each factor. Okay, all right, so D, we have this, calculate the total score. Okay, next we have rank the location, okay, by assigning the highest ranking to the lowest one. Okay, to the highest total score, and then assign a merit or weight to each alternative location. Okay, then we have to choose the best location. Okay, so under this, okay, we have the integrative method. Okay, under factor rating technique, okay, we have another one. We have integrative method. Okay, so this is the way how, okay, you want to use the integrative method. That's why I say like no need to use one by one lah. Okay, and this is the example for factor rating technique. Okay, that's why I say I will not go through very detail. Okay, and the last one for the third method of evaluating location alternative, we have this, okay, the center of gravity technique. Okay, so what is the center of gravity technique? Meaning that we are using the mathematical technique. Definitely, I said they will including the calculation lah, okay, used to obtain a location of a distribution center that will minimize the distribution cost. Okay, so this if let's say you want to calculate based on the transportation cost here and there, definitely this will be the best one lah. Okay, so meaning that the location of a distribution and also minimize the distribution of the cost lah. Okay, so from the warehouse, okay, so what kind of the cost incurred in that. Okay, so from the port, for example, okay, so that will be based from the distribution center. Okay, so this is the step. Okay, and this is the equation. This is the formula. That's why I say I will not go through in detail. Okay, and then okay, so that will be for the product. Okay, for the good. Okay, so now let's go for the service location strategy. Okay, so whatever that we have discussed just now is based on the product. Okay, so if let's say we are running a business, okay, that's selling a product, a good, so that will be the factors lah. So now is if let's say you are the service provider, okay, so this is the service location strategy. So this is the factors that you need to consider if let's say you become the service provider, okay, when you want to choose the location. Okay, number one definitely is the demographic data of population. Okay, for example, as usual lah, you need to know the background of your customers, okay, the age, income, and also the education. Why you as the service provider, okay, need to consider this thing first? Because for the service organization, service provider, they are on the customer focus. That's why they are based on the customer focus. That's why they need to know, okay, to understand their customers very well. Okay, for example, okay, for demographic data of population, for example, for the private university, okay, so for the university, okay, most of the private university, they are located at the city center. Most of the, okay, private university. For example, we have MSU itself. Okay, so for MSU, our main campus located at the city center of Shah Alam. Okay, so that's why MSU located at city center of the Shah Alam. Okay, instead we go for section 30, section 20 or something like that. Why at section 13? Okay, the city center of the Shah Alam. Okay, because most of us we know that, okay, when we have the city center of the Shah Alam or any kind of the state, okay, definitely the income, okay, for that people, okay, around that is very high. Okay, so that's why that is the target market for them. Okay, so that we based on demographic data lah. Second, near the competitors. Okay, the same thing also, just like for the good. Okay, so near competitors, why? Because it give benefits in term of higher traffic volume of the customers. Okay, for example, you see the laundry service. Okay, Dobi tu, okay, kedai Dobi tu, okay. If let's say you go at the one area, definitely they have a lot of the Dobi apa tu, the laundry shop lah, okay, kedai Dobi tu. Why? Because okay, as a customers, okay, they will have a lot of the variety. Okay, if let's say during hari raya for example, okay, so everyone balik kampung, okay, and then dekat kampung tu ada satu je mesin basuh for example. So definitely if let's say they have 10 families, okay, in that house, definitely takkanlah semuanya nak guna mesin basuh. Okay, only one mesin basuh. That's why they need to find another uh, laundry. Okay, so at that laundry, okay, they have so many choices. Okay, so if let's say this shop already packed, okay, with the customers, so they can go another laundry. So they have the lot of the choices lah. That's why we must consider, okay, near the competitors. Okay, because it will give the higher traffic volume of the customers. Okay, All right, and then the third one is based on the customer's access. Okay, so customer's access, for example, good transportation. Okay, if let's say you become the service provider, okay, so you must have the good transportation, easy to access. Okay, to your business, for example, okay, to your company, to your shop. Okay, so and then for example, we have parking facilities. Okay, definitely if let's say you provide a service, okay, so the customers will look, okay, based on the parking facilities, either you are provided, okay, with the parking facilities or not. Okay, for example, we have a hotel. Okay, so definitely for the hotel, okay, they provide the parking facilities. If let's say the 5-star hotel, definitely they provide the parking facilities. But if let's say you go for the apa nama hotel 1-star or 2-star, okay, so meaning that you need to park, okay, outside of the building itself. Okay, so that is the parking facilities and also the safety. Okay, all right, and then okay, so that will be the factors lah where you need to consider when you as the service provider. Okay, in terms of the location decision. Okay, so when we talk about the location decision, okay, the location strategy also, we will use the geographic information system. Okay, so what is GIS? Is the computerized data management system used to capture, store, manage, retrieve, analyze, and display spatial information. Okay, so basically when we talk about the GIS, okay, that is the system, okay, that can locate, okay, any kind of the location, okay, the space that we are needed. Okay, so that's why we have this lah, GIS. Okay, so GIS, data captured and used in the GIS, is commonly represent on a paper or can be the hard copy maps. Okay, so that's why we have this GIS. Okay, in terms of when we want to decide in terms of the location. Okay, all right, so that will be for the first part. Okay, we have location decision. Now we go for the second part, okay, which is we have this, okay, layout decision. Okay, so for the layout decision, okay, after you know, okay, where you want to locate your business, okay, so you must know also, okay, in terms of the arranging, okay, the product, the services, okay, in your organization, in your business, okay, in your company, okay, in your shop, for example. Okay, so that's why we have the layout decision. Okay, all right, so let me share with you, okay, the layout decision. Okay, so this will be for the layout decision. Okay, that's why I said we have chapter 5 and also we have chapter 5.1. Okay, so they're still under chapter 5 lah. Okay, so for layout decision, okay, so this is what we will cover. First, we need to know what is layout and also the layout decision, and also what are the strategic importance of the layout decision. Okay, and then the factors that influence the layout. And also the last one is the types of the layout. Okay, types of the layout is basically is the famous question. Okay, all right, and then we have to analyze the product layout. Okay, analyze product layout, definitely it will use the calculation, but we are not go through very detail. Okay, so let's look what is the layout decision. Facility layout. Okay, it's the process by which the placement of department, work group within department, workstation and machine within a facility is determined. Okay, meaning that where you locate, okay, where you place your department, okay, your product, where you display your product, okay, where you your the work session or something like that, the machine, okay, in the organization. Okay, so that's why we have facility layout. Okay, so for the layout decision, okay, they have 5 important reason. Okay, so let's look one by one. Okay, number 1, why we need layout decision? Because it will higher utilization of the space. Okay, so location of equipment and services in order that they may perform multiple function. Okay, if let's say you have your office layout, make sure that thing is the office layout, okay, not the warehouse layout, for example. Okay, why? Because it's very easy, okay, for the employees, okay, for the workers to perform their job. Okay, and then number 2, we have reduced bottleneck in moving people or material. So what is the bottleneck? Okay, refers to an operation that limit output in the production sequence. Okay, so bottleneck basically that is the what we call that as the main problem lah. Okay, so if let's say they have a problem. Okay, they have the limit. Okay, so we call that as the bottleneck. Okay, so layout is very important so that it can reduce any kind of the in terms of the problem. Okay, so that can lead to the can give impact towards the operation and also the productivity lah. Okay, the production. Okay. All right, next, okay, improve employee morale and also safer working condition. Okay, so it provides a safer working condition. So in order to avoid, okay, where the incident in the workplace are minimized. Okay, so if let's say we have the proper layout, definitely it will decrease, okay, the workplace accident. Okay, and then next one is the efficient use of the labor. Okay, good facility layout can reduce the movement of labor to perform their task. Okay, no need for them. Okay, if let's say our layout is very good one, okay, it's very every each item, okay, maybe they need to go to another department. Okay, so no need to take a long time, for example. Okay, no need to travel, for example. Okay, just nearby. So that's why easy lah. Okay, so if let's say they have the office layout, for example. Okay, office layout. Okay, we are surrounding with the what we call that, the uh, papers. Okay, the office equipment. Okay, so easy for them to reach lah. Okay, and the last one, okay, is improve customers and client interaction. Okay, so specific area of space is allocated for serving and entertaining these parties, which is the customer and also the client. Okay, so basically if let's say you have you entertain with you have you need to entertain the customers and also the suppliers or client or something like that, definitely they will have one area, okay, to entertain them lah. Okay, so that they are feel more comfortable if let's say they having the discussion with you. Okay. All right, so this is the factors that influencing the layout. Okay, number one is the types of the product. Okay, you should know lah what kind of the product that you sell. Okay, so it's easy for you to decide the layout. Okay, and then the volume of the production, large or small quantity of the production determine the type of the layout. Okay, if let's say you sell the very large numbers of the production, okay, definitely you will need uh, the huge space. Okay, the layout must be, they must be the very spacious one lah. Okay, and then number three is production process. Okay, production process meaning that different production process might have different layout. Okay, all right, so this is the type of the layout. Okay, we have 7 types of the layout. Okay, we have product layout, we have process-oriented layout, we have fixed position layout, office layout, retail or service layout, warehouse layout, and the last one is we have cellular layout. Okay, so let's look one by one. Okay, for the product layout, okay, refers to the production system where the workstation and equipment are located along the line of the production. Okay, for example, the assembly line. Okay, so this is the example of the product layout. Okay, for example, the product layout for German manufacturer. That's why we start with the input first. Okay, so input. Okay, so the second one will be sewing the clothes. Okay, next will be the sewing the button. Next will be the inspecting the seam. Okay, next will be wrapping finish the German. Okay, the garment. Then we have the packaging, and the last one we have the output. Okay, so this workflow, okay, they will based on the product. Okay, so some of them refer for the process, but this is the product. Okay, so basically this is for the garment manufacturer. Okay, so you nak buat baju, so area tu untuk jahit baju je, yang ni pasang butang je. Okay, so semuanya pasal baju. Okay, that will be for the product layout. Okay, so this is the advantages and also the disadvantages for the product layout. Okay, this you can go through by yourself. Okay, and then for the second one we have process oriented layout. Okay, so product meaning that we just focus on the product. Okay, product layout. But if let's say for the process oriented layout, okay, a design for the floor plan that involve arranging equipment and facilities according to their function, okay, which is the process with the aim of improving the efficiency. Okay, for example, we have this. Okay, and then another one, for example, hospital. Okay, hospital, they be based on the process oriented layout. Okay, process oriented layout. For example, you go to the hospital first, definitely you need to register, okay, registration. So that's why we have the counter of the registration. Okay, you need to register lah. Okay, so then you go to the registration counter. Okay, and then registration counter said that, okay, so you want to do the full checkup, for example. Okay, full checkup. Then after that, you need to go for the X-ray, for example. Then you go for the X-ray unit. Okay, so X-ray unit, at that X-ray unit, that's why we have the X-ray machine, we have that and apa semua-semua tu lah. Okay, then after we done with the X-ray, then you need to go for the blood, for example. Okay, blood test. Then you go for the blood test area. Okay, so any kind of the equipment or something like that, that will be for the blood test. Okay, then we go for the next one. So that we call that as the process oriented. Okay, same goes also lah if let's say we have the factory. So factory basically they are more on the process oriented. Okay, all right, so this is the advantages, the benefits, and also the drawback. Okay, for the process layout, process oriented layout. Okay, next we have the fixed position layout. So what is the fixed position layout? Layout whereby the resources such as personnel, supplies, and equipment are brought to the site where the product will be assembled rather than being moved through an assembly line or set of the assembly station. Okay, so typical of the project. Okay, basically they, for example, for the fixed position layout, okay, they are more on the project lah. Okay, where the product produced is too fragile, bulky, or heavy to move. Okay, as for the fixed position layout, meaning that all the equipment, the workers, you need to bring to that area. Okay, that's why, for example, we have a project. Okay, so for example, we have in Shah Alam, we have LRT project. Okay, so LRT project, so the project never go to anywhere. Okay, just stay there. But they will, the person, okay, the workers, okay, the machine, so they need to bring to there. So that's why we have the fixed position layout. Okay, for example, this lah, project site. Okay, so the supply need to go to project site, human resource need to go to the project site, all the machine, all the transportation here and there need to go to the project site. Okay, so we call that as the fixed position layout. Okay, next. Okay, this is very common to us. Okay, so we have the office layout. So office layout required the grouping of workers, their equipment, and the space of all offices involved to provide for comfort, safety, and the movement of the information. Okay, so the way you arrange, okay, your department, for example. Okay, for example, some of the office, okay, they sit in the what you call the cubicle. Okay, they island it. Okay, the grouping by the unit, for example. Okay, for example, in MSU, okay, for FBMP itself. Okay, so they grouping, they arrange, okay, the office layout, okay, based on the cluster. Okay, so we have cluster management. So all the lecturers of the cluster management will sit, okay, they have their own workstation at one area. Okay, at one island. Normally we call it as the island lah. Okay, so for the international business, so they have one island. So that will be for the office layout. Okay, so in terms of the movement of the information also we need to consider. Okay, so this is the example of the office layout. Okay, then next one we have retail or service layout. Now, basically that will be for the hypermarket. Okay, easy one, just look at the hypermarket lah. The layout that allocate shelf space and respond to customers' behavior with an aim to maximize exposures of the product to the customers. Okay, so you need to consider these three things and beyond: special layout and functionality, sign, symbol, and also the artifact. Okay. So this is the example lah. Okay, so basically for the retail layout, okay, for the hypermarket, supermarket, okay, then we have this. Okay, if let's say you want to find mineral water, for example, okay, definitely they will put a symbol, okay, so that will be under mineral water, all the cordial, and then the apa, minuman ringan or something like that. Okay, so they will be at one area. Okay, so if let's say you want to find the confectionery, for example, okay, so there will be one area. Okay, then if let's say you want to find for the fruit or vegetable, okay, definitely one area. Okay, All right, so that will be for the retail. Okay, next one we have the warehouse layout. Okay, so warehouse layout, the layout designed to maximize the warehouse function to achieve the highest efficiency and space utilization. Okay, so when we talk about the warehouse layout, okay, they are very close. Okay, they are working closely with the dock. Okay, so we have the cross docking. So what is the cross docking? It's a method to avoid putting material and supplies in storage by processing them immediately after they are received. Okay, so that's why when we talk about the warehouse, okay, definitely they can very nearby, okay, with the dock. Okay, so the layout of the dock also we need to consider on that lah. Okay, so in order to avoid that a lot of the we call it as the bottleneck dekat situ lah. Okay, so we tak nak benda lama sangat dekat dalam warehouse. Okay, so they must have the system on that. Okay, so this is the example of the warehouse layout. Okay. All right, so next, the last one, we have the cellular, or we call it as the work cell layout. Okay, it's the layout that arrange machinery and equipment to focus on the production of a single product or group of related product. Okay, so this type of the layout bring together this similar machine into work center to work on product that have similar shape and processing requirement. Okay, for example, we have this. Okay, so for the cellular layout, okay, it will be based on this lah. First is the machinery and also the equipment, and also they will relate based on the product. Okay, so for example, we have this. Okay, so station one, okay, they will under component and material. Okay, so station two, okay, we have this station 3, 4, and also station 5. So basically, they will based on their workflow. Okay. All right. So the next one, let's look, okay, on the analysis of the product layout. Okay. So analysis of product layout analysis, okay, analysis performed on a product layout or the production line. Okay. So we have the two types. Okay. We have this assembly line balancing. Okay. So assigning work or task to workstation on the assembly line to meet the required output. Okay. So the objective on that, because they want to maximizing the efficiency, okay, and also minimizing the number of the workstation. Okay, so this is the formula for to do the product layout analysis lah. Okay, that's why I said I will not go through in detail. Okay, so the end of our chapter 5. Okay, so basically when we talk about the uh, chapter 5, okay, is based on the location and also the layout. Okay, once you already have your location, okay, you already consider lah what kind of the factors, okay, to locate your business. Okay, so you definitely we need to find the very strategic location lah. Okay, and then after you have the location, okay, then it's time for you, okay, to do the decision based on the layout. Okay, how you want to arrange the department, how you want to arrange the machinery, okay, the equipment, okay, that will be needed, okay, when you have the process, okay, of the business itself. Okay. All right, so that's all for chapter 5. Okay, so please bear in your mind that for this chapter 5, it will include in the mid semester exam also lah. Okay, so for the mid semester, we will cover chapter 1 until chapter 5. Okay, all right, so another one recorded video. Okay, we go for our chapter 6. Okay, all right, thank you everyone.